Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So we're looking at my 30-gallon planted Livebearer community tank, and I'm about to feed the fishies. So I'm going to feed them Repashy. This Repashy Superfoods Grub Pie. I recently got this from Supercyclids. If you're not familiar, Repashy is a gel food. It's something that you would prepare. It comes in this powder like this, and you mix that with hot water to create a gel food like this. It's kind of, it's kind of like Jello. And fish love it, and it is awesome. So this is Grub Pie. This might be the first time trying this. I bought this from Supercyclids a couple weeks ago. The first time I ever tried Repashy, I tried this Community Plus, but I figured I'd try Grub Pie this time. I mean, that's a swordtail right there. It's good for Livebearers, and most of my fish are in this tank are Livebearers. So I just whipped up this, and it's cooled and hardened. So basically with that powder, it's 1 part powder and to 2.5 or to 2 to 3 parts water. As it says in the directions, I do about 2.5, and mixing it with boiling water. So what I've been doing is whenever I have a hard-boiled egg, I use that water and mix it up with the powder. Whether that makes a difference or not, I've seen others that crush up eggshells to add calcium to their aquariums. So I know after cooking a hard-boiled egg, the water left in the saucepan is kind of white and chalky, so leave some calcium behind. So this is hard-boiled egg, boiled water with calcium in it. Added some calcium to the mix. So I'm going to drop some of this in the tank. So this is the first time I'm feeding them the Grub Pie. Like I said, I had Community Plus until then. So I just drop some in, it'll sink down. And I'm gonna put several chunks in there. Put some over here. So eventually, I would expect all the fish will come down to the chunks. It'll be like a feeding frenzy. I'm going to drop some over here. So we got it here at the top. Alright, now there's more gathering. Put some over on the other end here. Alright, going back, there's more and more fish coming around it. Another piece. So one thing that's good about Repashy compared to other fish foods, it doesn't degrade. Like if you put flake food or pellets and the fish don't eat it, it'll kind of rot, I guess, and can foul the water. But this stuff, I mean, as many fish that I have in this tank, they're gonna, you know, there's so many that are gonna eat it. But if you left a chunk like that and, you know, you only had a few fish, if they didn't eat it all, they can just come back and eat it over time. So you wouldn't have to worry about the food spoiling. It holds up pretty good. And, you know, like after it, you know, like Jello, after it gets solid like this, you can just keep it in the refrigerator, and it's good in the fridge for a couple weeks. And you can take it out and feed them, you know, little chunks of it. So in this tank I have mostly Livebearers, platies, variatus platies, guppies, endlers. There's some neon tetras, some gouramis, dwarf gouramis. One male and two females. There's a female right there. I have a couple Siamese algae eaters, these two right here. There's a panda garra right here. The julii corridor right there. That roseline shark. He just, you know, eats anything that floats down. He doesn't eat off the top or off the bottom, so he doesn't really get involved in food like this that sinks to the bottom. Oh yeah, and I have some otocinclus. There's one right there. And I have neocaridina shrimp. You can see one on that strand. Well, there's one swimming up in front. And then there's a red one on that Java moss strand. Top left right there. That one's doesn't really have any color. And then there's one right there. But this tank is loaded with them, with shrimp now. Well, not to the point as many fish as I have, but when I already had as many fish as that are in here, I added about 6 neocaridina shrimp, and they have just, population has just taken off. There's a nice red one right there. Big and healthy. I don't see the little tiny specks babies, like they hide pretty good. And all this, there's lots of cover in here, lots of plants. So they're able to hide and not get eaten, and enough of them grow. Yeah, okay. So we got fish devouring the Repashy. I'll add a couple more chunks. There's some more. I'll drop this in over here. Got through the duckweed floating at the top there. Some of it caught in the Java moss a little bit. Alright, one more chunk. I'll put this over here. Alright, so yeah, there's my feeding Repashy to my fishies. Repashy Superfoods Grub Pie. Alright. So, if you've made it this far into the video, 10 minutes in, I want to mention something. What I'd like to do is give some fish away. If you'd be interested in some of these fish, the Livebearers, because I want to unload some, I will give some away for free. Part of the reason for doing that, I want to share my fish, but I want to test shipping. I've never shipped fish before, but I want to try it and as a trial and maybe see how that goes and consider possibly attempting to sell some. Last year I gave away some plants to a couple members of the fish fam or community that have aquatic YouTube channels. Gave them some Java moss and Rickia fluitans, and I wanted to see how that was a test to ship plants, but I want to try shipping some fish and some shrimp too, because I have shrimp in here. I have another tank that's pretty crowded, a 3.5 gallon tank. That's where my shrimp originated. I started with 8 shrimp in that tank before spreading them into this tank, and as I'm going to spread them to others. But I want to attempt to ship some fish and some shrimp, and I'll throw in some plants too. There will be some conditions. I don't know. I haven't really locked down what I want to do about that, but basically it's pretty much anybody who would be interested in fish. I'm going to, in a future video coming up soon, I want to mention what the criteria and conditions will be, but I want to do it before it gets too hot, because where I am, it's already been reaching 90 degrees this week, and come June it'll be 100 degrees pretty much every day. So before it gets too hot, I want to attempt that. So that's going to be, I'm going to have to do it soon. So if you might be interested in some platies or guppies or shrimp or the kinds of fish I have in this tank, or I have some fish in my some wild guppies in another tank, if you might be interested in those, and like I said, the shrimp in my 3.5 gallon tank. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'll be making some sort of an official announcement of how I want to try to ship some fish to share to fellow fish keepers. All right. And that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.